What's up, everyone on the World Wide Web? My name is Jesse, and this is Viral Thoughts, and today we are talking about the 10 rules of good writing. So these 10 rules of good writing come from a class I took from creative writing. Now, these rules of good writing can be applied to movies, books, plays, poems, stories, or songs. They can be used for any type of storytelling. Rule number 1, good writing is about desire. So people who want things are interesting. Imagine having a character that doesn't want anything. Oh, Harry Potter, I don't care about living in the Dursleys, whatever. I'm okay under my stairs, it's fine. Yeah, imagine if the villain or the hero never wanted anything. That would be a pretty boring story. Rule number 2, good writing is about trouble. So no one ever really wants a story about nothing. With no conflict and with just peace. We have thousands of movies about war, and not a lot of them about peaceful times. I mean, even sitcoms or rom-coms or those kind of shows always have a trouble going on. So in order to get trouble, you get desire plus danger, and that's what you get the drama. And that drama is what drives a story. So you need those in order to have a story that moves along and is entertaining. Number 3, good writing is carefully structured. A good story should have a rising action, it should have conflict, and should have beginning, middle, and end. Now, this can be a little interesting when it comes to, for instance, Christopher Nolan stuff, where he kind of has, the middle is the beginning, and the beginning is the end, and there's, you should check it out. Check out Christopher Nolan's plot structure. It's weird. And there needs to be a rising action where the hero tries and tries and tries, where it gets more and more dangerous. That goes along with rule number 4. A good story earns its climaxes. The writer shouldn't just solve the character's problems. The characters need to earn that. They need to be character driven so that the action and the climax is earned. It's a work in progress. So it's not just Frodo and Sam jumping to Mordor la-di-da, but they have to go through trials, and they have to push, they have to make sacrifices in order to get there. So it earns the climax. Rule number 5, a good story does not happen to the characters. It happens because of the characters. And so the characters should drive the story. The characters should be able to act for themselves, not be just directed because that's where the plot needs them to go. So it needs to be, the desires need to pull the character forward. And as an audience, our desires should go along with them. We should be able to empathize enough with the character that it drives the plot forward. So these characters are able to act for themselves and have their own desires. Number 6, a good story communicates a strong sense of place. So the setting should be unique. Look at Star Wars and a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But it could even be more specific than that. So for instance, it could be Paris, 1980. So it can be very specific so the audience is drawn in. Rule number 7, a good story should have at least one round character. A good complex character has many paradoxes within himself, so it's more realistic. And most of the time, it's the main character which is round, so we can relate with them. Now, in my opinion, there should be more than one round character. But there is a way to do static characters. I have a video. Click the card to see that. But generally speaking, there needs to be at least one round character. Rule number 8, a good story should have at least one dynamic character. Through the course of a story, there should be a rebirth of a character. So you'll see this many a time where the hero falls into the pit and then emerges out victorious. So this happens, and Tangled happened when they were in the cave, and then Flynn Rider reveals his true name, and then they come out and he goes by Eugene after that. So there's like different symbolism of being reborn. So take a look and look at your favorite stories and comment below about rebirthings of your characters. Now the changes might be subtle or they might be dramatic, but they always are significant. Rule number 9, good writing communicates good solid imagery. So this is more applicable to writing, but this should also be applicable to movies that need to have a good solid imagery so we know what's going on. In writing specifically, we need to have solid images so we can imagine what's going on. Being too abstract leaves the audience confused and boring, obviously, because we don't want to hear about something that happens somewhere. We want to know what's happening to this person under this circumstance and why. Like very solid, specific things. And generally, they'll appeal to the 5 senses. So you're including touch, taste, smell. So imagine those senses when writing or when listening to a book or when you're watching a movie. And number 10. Good writing includes a significant sacrifice. Now, I've talked about this before in stories, but stories that have sacrifices have more meaning. The characters have to be able to lose something. There's that risk of losing something. Anakin wouldn't have turned bad if he hadn't had something fearing that he was going to lose. And his unwillingness to sacrifice led him to be Darth Vader. So either the character needs to sacrifice something or they need to withhold that sacrifice for some reason. And generally when you withhold the sacrifice, there's a consequence to that. You'll see in Lord of the Rings, for instance, Frodo didn't throw the ring into the fire. He actually, Gollum came in and threw it in, and fell in. Withholding that sacrifice led Frodo to not be able to stay in the Shire. That's why he left at the end of the series. I think that'll work. For instance, Simba had to give up his Hakuna Matata lifestyle so he could go back. So that's a sacrifice he had to make that was significant. And those are the 10 rules of good writing. So comment below and let me know what you think are other rules that might be added on and what you might adjust with all these. And like and subscribe. We will see you next week. And remember, it's not what you watch, but how you watch it that makes you a scholar.